All right, 10-minute snack. Everyone knows the rules. Let's eat. Okay, today I am fortunate I get to talk with a special guest, Eric Young, who I believe has a super important story, which I want to dive into. But what really, grabbed me about your story is you cured a lot of ailments that some people consider incurable, but they're also the ones I see all the time. Type 2 diabetes, hypertension, sleep apnea. I basically see those three together almost like in the majority of cases. So first I want to say thank you for being on, and I'm excited to dive in.
Well, thank you for having me, Doc. It's a pleasure to be here.
So Eric, kind of the first question that I had was, for a lot of people that make a diet change like you did successfully now, there's usually like a moment. And I was curious, did you have a moment where you're like, all right, this is enough. I need to change my diet? Maybe was it a diagnosis? Was it something else that like what was like the moment where the change happened?
Well, I know we're short on time, so I'll try to keep it brief. But yes, definitely had a moment. It wasn't a one-time aha moment. It was a series of moments over years. It got to the point where my body was just fighting me left and right. I was in my mid 40s. Again, as you mentioned, so I had the type 2 diabetes. It upped my metformin to three a day. I had the sleep apnea, had the peripheral neuropathy, just the brain fog. There's just thing after thing after thing, and it got to the point where it just I wasn't myself. I couldn't even train anymore. I had exercise intolerance. I just my body was just basically fighting me, and it felt like it was shutting down. I was desperate. I started the typical starve yourself diet. Lost a few pounds, but wasn't helping the health issues. And I swear it was one night. It was December 2017, so a little over 5 years ago. It's like 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm down in the dumps about my health, about the way I'm feeling. I'm Googling like everyone in America does, and throwing all my different symptoms in there. I'm begging, God, help. I don't know what to do. And I came across this article of a guy who had type 2 diabetes, neuropathy, and he had healed it by going to this low carb diet. They mentioned keto. I'd never heard of keto at that time, to be frank with you. So I kind of got intrigued. I started digging more. I found more and more stories of people that started cutting out the processed garbage and the carbohydrates that we don't really need, started focusing on, at that time, it was just natural foods, later progressed to animal based foods. And, I'm like, I'll try anything at this point. And it really wasn't, I wasn't excited about the food options at the time. I ate the Italian food, the Mexican food, and just everything that was bad for me. But again, my health was failing miserably. So I had to try something. I was desperate. And that is basically how I started this journey.
It's what I find really interesting because what I was going to ask you is like, have you tried like were there other diets before that you had tried? And it sounds like basically starve yourself kind of diet where it's like maybe not focus on food quality, but just smaller food portions.
Right. It's the way that I'd been taught, growing up is you want to lose weight, you limit your portions, you cut out the fat, which is horrible advice in my opinion now. But
Yeah.
so all those things we grew up learning is what I tried, and
Yeah.
it's not sustainable.
No, what I often think is interesting about that approach is a lot of times that diet is already kind of nutrient poor, I'll say. And so by just shrinking the portions, like what was already a nutrient poor diet just gets even more nutrient
Right.
depleted. Uh,
Right.
so I know we're running out of time, but I wanted to ask you, we your main like what the diet you're doing today, low carb, keto, what would a typical day look like for you?
I have migrated. It's somewhere, I hate labeling, but probably more ketovore. So somewhere between
Mhm.
keto and carnivore. Honestly, right now, my day consists of 2 meals a day. And that's typically, 1.5 to 2 pounds of meat. Currently, that's ground venison. Hunting season in Ohio just finished, so I've been eating a lot of venison lately. I do throw eggs in there. I know some people can't handle or tolerate, cheese, but I do have a little cheese mixed in with there. Black coffee and water. That's it.
Wow. So, I mean, when I hear that, that's not a ton of food, but you're satiated, your energy
Mhm.
seems great, but you feel good. How's the sleep?
Sleep's fantastic. It's honestly at 50 years old now, I feel better than I did 20 years ago. It's just it's been life changing. It truly has.
I'm just curious because I've treated many sleep apnea patients a lot because a lot of times it's considered uncurable. XYZ, you lose some weight, it gets better. I assuming you had a diagnosis. Were you using a CPAP machine?
I was. Yes,
But you're
I
no longer
used it for
using it?
several years. Nope, haven't used it in years now. It's in
Wow.
fact, I joke that I'm going to make a video of me smashing my old machine. I haven't got to that yet.
Well, I know that's got to be a good feeling because a lot of people I see, well, the research kind of bears out of people that are diagnosed with sleep apnea, which is a lot of people. The treatment option is not very good. The CPAP machine. There's 20%, this minority that they get the CPAP and they love it. And I understand why, because they haven't slept for 5 to 10 years because they've been
Mhm.
suffocating in their sleep. But 80% of the people that are diagnosed, they're given the CPAP machine, either very much struggle and hate it or just can't use it at all. And they are basically dying in their sleep. That's what sleep apnea is. So being able to like change your diet, lose weight, get healthy, and be able to discard that, that's would be a big win for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I'll say this: the CPAP machine worked for me, but like you said, I hated it. It's just it's an awful feeling to have to wear that every night. It's certainly not beneficial to a marriage, wearing that horrible mask. But yeah, I hated wearing it, and I'm so happy to not have to deal with that any longer.
Well, Eric, I appreciate you spending the time. Let me have a snack with you. I've been following you online. Let me get the right handle. No Carbs Nation, because you have very like inspiring content, not fun to follow. So anywhere else people can find you?
I'm on Instagram at No Carbs Nation. I'm on Twitter at No Carbs Nation, and on YouTube No Carbs Nation. So same
Perfect.
handle for all three.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Eric. Appreciate the snack. And I'll see you on the interwebs.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it more than you know. Have a great day.
Snack time's over. Did you enjoy the snack? If so, drop me a comment. Let me know if we should dive deeper and do a full meal on this topic. Also, P.S. If you liked the snacks, you're going to love our bites. A daily email bite, a golden nugget, better than a pasture raised egg yolk. All right, maybe not that good, but it is a daily bite to optimize your health and nutrition with a meat based diet. Access right now is totally free. Link below. See you in the bites.